So, Tyrande has been failing for so many years now. In fact, she got so pissed off that she went on a crazy rampage to hunt down Sylvanas. Yet, after all she had went through, and finally, as she had Sylvanas in her hands, quite literally, Elune completely abandoned her and her powers just vanished for some reason. This got many of us wondering what was even the point of the Night Warrior in the first place if Elune was just going to abandon Tyrande in the most critical moment. Well, let us examine the newest cinematic, the details you might have missed, and what could actually be going on. Brought to you by Gamivo. Use my link to get Shadowlands and Game Time cheaper as well as any other game. Use code Doron for an additional discount. I'm guessing all of you have seen the newest duel cinematic. It has been a long expected one as we have been waiting for the ultimate confrontation of Sylvanas and Tyrande pretty much since the burning of Teldrassil, but even earlier, but even more so when Tyrande completely embraced the Night Warrior form and she ventured right into the Maw itself. Well, now in Ardenweald they finally meet, and I gotta say the cinematic was actually really well done, and there is a lot more going on when you rewatch it a few times. At the start, there is of course brief combat, but then Sylvanas does her chanting, which pretty much messed everyone up thus far. Similar power that just one-shot Starfang and completely immobilized Bolvar. However, Tyrande just says nope and uses her Night Warrior powers and breaks away the chains like they are nothing. Then Sylvanas does her usual thing and just flies away, which I gotta say is definitely getting a bit annoying at this point, and it is obviously just expected. Like, Sylvanas does something and she just flies away. I think she did this like 10 times by now. However, this point here is the critical moment. Tyrande begs Elune for her ultimate powers, and if you look at the subtitles on the official cinematic video, she says in the Night Elven language, "My life for hers," and she just flies right into the sky. Obviously, based on the face of Sylvanas, she totally didn't expect this, and Tyrande just brings her to the ground and starts choking her, and just as she's about to deal the killing blow, her powers wane and Sylvanas is able to escape. This caused quite a bit of an uproar, completely justifiable of course for a few reasons. First, what was even the point of the Night Warrior if Elune was just going to abandon her in the most critical of times? And why did she even abandon her in the first place? Wouldn't we all supposed to see the wrath of Elune in its full might? The actual answer to this question lies in the subtitles, in what Tyrande said in Dornacian. However, I can't say that it really gives us a complete explanation of the situation. The Night Warrior, since Battle for Azeroth, has been a brand new concept, but in Shadowlands, they really started expanding quite a bit more on it. We learned that there were Night Warriors all across the universe, that Elune had empowered many of them, and that pretty much all of them, but a few, essentially just suicided themselves because the powers were just so potent. So the storyline, since the start of the expansion with Tyrande, has been us trying to get her to just chill out and not get consumed by revenge. So when Tyrande said "my life or hers," it is more than likely what she meant is that she asked for Elune to use so much of her power that she would destroy both of them, yet Elune didn't want to do this, which is why she had abandoned her. This could be for two reasons. Either she wanted to save Tyrande as she values her, which in my opinion is the most likely scenario, or she didn't want to kill Sylvanas at that point. I gotta admit it is completely justifiable that people are in an uproar, because at one point it really starts to get annoying. Sure, Tyrande shouldn't be so hell-bent on revenge because the powers are really deadly, but I do feel like her revenge is just completely justifiable. This entire storyline of like revenge bad is kinda ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, seriously, Sylvanas destroyed an entire city full of civilians. She destroyed the heart of the Night Elves in the biggest disaster since the Sundering for the Kaldrai, so I can't really say that Tyrande is out of her mind for wanting revenge so bad, which is why it is annoying that Blizzard is just constantly denying that revenge and has been doing so for years. Here are my thoughts on why they may actually be doing this. Recently, We learn that Elune is the sister of the Winter Queen and that she's of the Pantheon of Life, and that she's not only quite important, but more than likely knowledgeable of what might actually be going on behind the scenes, aka she has a lot more foresight than Tyrande and her blind revenge and just tunnel vision on Sylvanas. While some people speculate that Elune is actually aiding the jailer, I really don't think that is the case. What I think is most likely is that she predicted that this entire mechanism with the jailer, Sylvanas, and the first ones is just going to break at any moment, and that Sylvanas is going to be defeated anyway, so she wanted to spare her most loyal servant Tyrande of losing her life, more than likely because she needs her in what is to come in the future. To put it simply, she knows that Sylvanas is going to be defeated anyway, and there is no point in losing Tyrande in that process. Now, of course, that hasn't been officially confirmed, but I gotta say, it does make quite a bit of sense. You may be wondering, if Elune cared so much about Tyrande, why did she even give her these powers in the first place if they would just endanger her? My thoughts are that she didn't know this before, but Tyrande kinda served as her eyes in the Shadowlands, and since then, she gained more insight in what is really going on with this first one mechanism. So ultimately, Elune didn't really abandon her in the full sense of the word. She granted her powers, she did her thing, but when Elune realized her final sacrifice would be unwise to the grander perspective and the grander scheme, she just put a lid on the Night Warrior powers in order to preserve her servant, because something much bigger is going to happen in the future. Thank you for watching. Check out the most recent First One lore by clicking on the screen, and also check out Donut's Academy for videos on real world history and science. See you next time.